Hey guys, it is NCS Fan 001 here for another one of those weekly trophy list update videos. Today's date is Monday, July 5th, 2021. So, for all of you in the US, I hope you had a very good 4th of July, and I hope that many of you managed to be off of work on Monday the 5th, as I was. Now, this is actually interesting because I'm actually recording this on Monday for the first time in a very long time. I usually record these on the Sunday prior to the release of the video. So, not a whole lot happened in trophies this week. It was a very, very big week in real life, though, because as you guys know, or if you don't know, I'll post the picture in the video here. I am now officially a homeowner, which is pretty awesome. A town homeowner for that matter, but just a homeowner in general, which is really amazing. Like, it's a point that I never really knew when I would get to or where. But it's finally happened, and I do apologize if you hear anything in the background. That's my dogs are up and moving around a little bit. I thought they were pretty tired today, though. So yeah, that was my major big purchase that I was talking about in the whole moving situation I was talking about last week. And that's the first piece of very good news. The second half of the very good news is that the job I interviewed for this past Monday, so the last trophy update video that went up, I got it. I got the job just a couple days later. So that one's not going to start until around July 19th. So I'm in my current position for the next 2 weeks, and then I get to move on to that. So thankfully, the current job that is going away in August, I will not have to be around for that, and I will have a job, a safe, secure job at that point. Well, job security is what I mean by that. I mean, anything in the healthcare field right now is probably not the safest thing you could be doing, but I do not care because I'm very happy about it. I am very excited for where I'll be at, and I know that it's supposed to be a good place to work, so definitely excited for that. So, with all of the good, positive, personal stuff now discussed, and by the way, I do have internet for the most part. It seems to work very well. I have cable, I have, electricity, obviously. I have AC, which matters a lot. I mean, the AC is a little bit odd with my bedroom, but I'll talk about that more in the future. Like, what I want to do is maybe do like an actual house tour video sometime over the next couple weeks once everything's really fully settled where I want it, and I'm sure you guys would enjoy that. But now we are here to talk about trophies. I only earned trophies in 2 games this week because obviously I was extremely busy with other more important stuff. So the first thing I did was I completed the PS Vita version of Eyed Kae. I did the PS4 version of this a long time ago. I don't really know what this game is. It's some kind of weird game where you go to you crash land on a planet and you're an alien and you have to get off the planet, I think was the story. I'm not entirely sure, but the 100% is very easy, though a good number of the trophies are missable. So you are going to want to follow a guide of some kind. I think I followed Maka's guide, which that's technically an achievement guide, and apparently the Xbox version has 10 achievements versus our 8 trophies, like they have 2 extra achievements. I don't really know why that is, but apparently that's a thing, so cool, I guess. Weird. Anyway, though, for your 100%, you reconcile the sun and the moon. I believe that's a story you get for basically completing the main story. I believe the quarrel between the sun and the moon is also a story-related trophy. You have to find all 4 exits of the labyrinth. This one's missable because you have to go to the top one, I believe it is last. I think that's what it is, but I could be wrong. It's been about a week since I played this, as this covered the week of the 28th through the 4th, so it was a bit of time ago. You have to press the same button 4 times in a row while you're in the spaceship at the very beginning. That's very easy as long as you know it's there. You have to see all the dreams, which I think has to do with the labyrinth, but I could be wrong on that again. This one is toward the end of the game. You have to refuse to give a man boats 3 times in a row during like a sort of dream sequence. It's weird. This game is weird. I'm just gonna say that again. The game is weird. You have to visit a bear 3 times is done when you're in the tree during the second half of the game. And then you have to explore all the ends of all the branches of the tree. You kind of need to do this in a specific order, which is why you really want to follow a guide just to make sure you don't accidentally miss anything. I believe that one of the achievements has to do with interacting with the fisherman at the very beginning of the tree section and interacting with the fish. I can't remember what the other achievement was. But yeah, very weird little game, but I think I did it in about, let's see, 930, 904, was that my last trophy? 906, so it took me about 36 minutes to get the 100%, and you could certainly do it a little bit faster if you knew what you were doing. So, very quick and easy 100%, but a very weird game. I finally got around to buying it on the Vita because it's not cross-buy, but it was only $1 now because a lot of the easy, cheap Vita games are now only $1. Speaking of money stuff, GTA 5 has another month of free online $1 million for GTA Online. That's not going to be lasting too many more months, because I believe that the PS5 version comes out in November. So go ahead and keep racking up that extra free money. I'm going to need it for when I go back to that game for the heist stuff. Next up, and really the only other game to talk about in terms of actual trophy progress, is Saints Row the Third Remastered. This game was a heck of a lot of fun to play. Would highly recommend picking this one up. The Platinum Trophy, and 100% for that matter, is pretty easy. So we can go through the entire list. So you got a bunch of story-related trophies all the way through here. Now you have to complete Act 3 in 2 different ways, but the game will actually let you replay the final mission or the next to final mission of the main story upon completing it the first time, and allow you to go back and play it again for the other option, which is very nice. Now, as for the Act 1 in one way or another way, this one you are going to need to have a backup save right before the mission, the Belgian problem. So make sure to make a backup save there, and you won't have to worry about missing out on these trophies. You can just reload that backup save and complete it in the alternative fashion. You either have to destroy the building or blow up the bomb, or defuse the bomb, my bad. But yeah, mostly story-related trophies through there. Then you have to complete all city takeover gameplay within the game. I believe there's about 56 activities. It's either 54, 56, or 58. I can't remember the exact number. So those are all the different activities in the game. You have to purchase all 34 properties, all 30 buildings, which are 2 different kinds of things. You don't have to find all the collectibles, I think, for this particular trophy, but you are going to have to find all the collectibles for a different trophy. There are 80 of those total. You have to clear all 32 gang operations and obtain all 10 cribs. Most of those are actually story-related. So then you have all of your different activities. Insurance fraud is the one where you throw yourself into vehicles and stuff and hope that you cause enough fraudulent damage to, I guess, win. This one can be a little bit finicky at times because it's really kind of buggy and you never know if you're going to get enough money even if it seems like you do everything the right way. You have to complete all instances of trafficking, which is just basically delivering stuff around the map. Heli assault is just protecting someone while you're in a helicopter, pretty simple. Mayhem is where you have to just cause as much mayhem and as much damage as possible with the weapons provided, usually infinite ammo weapons such as RPGs and grenades. Escort is where you have to drive around either a couple of consenting adults, presumably consenting adults doing consensually adult things, and drive them around the map. And the other half of them requires you to do the same thing but with a tiger, because reasons. Ricky Bobby, I guess. Then you have Snatch, which is one of my least favorite activities because it's very annoying with the AI. Like, the friendly AI and the enemy AI doesn't always behave in a predictable way, and they might like try to jump in front of your car and stuff and get killed. So be a little bit careful with that one. It's kind of annoying, but it's still not really like that hard, obviously. Trailblazing is racing. It's pretty easy. Guardian Angel, I believe you actually have to complete both of these instances because there's only 2, and I believe you have to do both of them just to beat the main story. I think they're actually required. Tank Mayhem is extremely easy. It's just mayhem, but you get a tank, and it's pretty hard to fail. Professor Genki is the sort of whatever you want to call game show, sadistic game show, where you're killing mascots and shooting targets and stuff. You have to find all the collectibles. Like I said, there's 80 of them divided into 4 categories, but you can buy a collectible detector on the map. You have to complete all 41 challenges. Most of them are easy, though some of them are fairly grindy. A few of them become much harder once you've cleared all of the city takeover gameplay, and one of them, I believe, is missable, the Stag Commando one. So make sure to knock that one out like as soon as you can. There's a really good story mission called Air Steelport that's very good for knocking those kills out. So I would recommend getting a bunch of kills, then letting yourself fail the mission, and then repeating until you finish the challenge. That's the safest way to get that one done. You have to do a Nutshot and Testicle Assault, which are melee attacks. Well, Testicle Assault, I believe, is a melee attack. Nutshot, you just shoot someone down there. You have to play for 2 hours as a male and 2 hours as a female. Very easy. Hijack 50 vehicles Duke style, that's pretty much unmissable. You have to taunt or compliment 50 gang members. You have to taunt 50 for challenge anyway. You have to explore every hood. I believe this one's unmissable. You have to kill a total of 50 brutes. This one's pretty tough to miss once you've done everything in the game. You have to buy your first upgrade from the upgrade store. You're going to be buying virtually all the upgrades by the end anyway. You have to kill a total of 1,000 gang members. That's pretty much unmissable. Fully upgrade a weapon in each slot is going to be quite expensive. You have to fully upgrade a stronghold. There's one of the earlier strongholds is rather cheap. It's only like 60,000, whereas the other two are in the 6-digit range to fully upgrade. You have to destroy all 32 gang operations. You have to spend 30 hours in the game. So for this one, I actually did not hit 30 hours by beating the main story. I was only like 25 to 27 hours after beating the main story. I got this during the second DLC. So thankfully, any time spent in the DLCs does count toward this trophy. So I would highly recommend not AFKing until you've finished all the DLCs. If you still somehow don't have the trophy by then, that would be shocking. But you could always AFK as needed if you want to knock it out a little bit earlier. Because the DLCs each add like another 2 hours to your playtime. So I ended up with about 33 hours of playtime. You have another story-related trophy all the way down here. For some reason, you have to kill 25 gang members with 2 specific types of weapons. You have to customize a total of 10 vehicles. You have to kill all of the assassination targets. There's 36 of them. Most of them are pretty easy. A few of them are a little bit more annoying to draw out. And then you have the vehicle thefts, which is another infamously missable trophy because of the Stag Enforcer vehicle. As soon as that challenge becomes available when Stag arrives in the city, do it then and knock it out so that you don't have to worry about it being missable later because it becomes impossible after completing the main story. As for the DLCs, you have Genki Bowl 7, which is pretty simple, though I'd say that this is probably the hardest of the 3 DLCs overall because it's activities and not missions. Though thankfully that means that nothing's missable. So you have 2 trophies for super ethical reality, what's it called? Super ethical PR opportunity, that's it. You have to roast 50 pedestrians in a single instance and destroy 5 chase vehicles. These are both going to require you to charge up the flamethrower by running people over. You'll probably get this one naturally while playing it if you're, as long as you know that it's there. This one, you might want to wait until you've filled the pleasure bar and then go on the rampage because then the annoying vehicles here, the chase vehicles, will no longer come after you. Then you have 3 trophies related to Sad Panda Skyblazing. It's a new type of activity. You have to land on the island, which is pretty tough to miss. You have to kill all of the rooftop mascots. This is the hardest trophy because there's quite a few of them, even in the first of these 2 activities. So just be careful about it. Keep track of how many you kill. Make sure you visit each roof. There's 5 roofs in the first activity for this. And for this one, you have to go through all the rings in a single instance. There's 34 rings during the first of the 2 activities, so I'd recommend doing it there. For this one, you have to get 5 live mascots into the water in a round of Apocalypse Genki, which is just, Professor Genki's super ethical reality climax from the base game, but sort of turned up. So with this one, I would highly recommend doing it in the second one. That was where I found it easier, but some people might do it in the first one. And it's a little bit tricky because the enemies have to still be alive when they hit the water, so it may take a couple of tries. This one is going to be unmissable story related because to get the ending cutscene, you have to finish all 8 activities anyway. Then you have Sexy Kitten Yarngasm, which is just mayhem, but you drive around a giant ball of yarn. The mouse ATV is pretty much unmissable. You're probably going to get it by accident. The $150,000 combo is a little bit trickier, but as long as you use the shockwaves properly, you shouldn't have too much of a problem with it. And then complete all activity instances, which I already mentioned is basically story. Then you have Gangstas in Space. This DLC is pretty good. So it's 3 missions. At first, I thought you couldn't replay these, but I think you might actually be able to replay these missions in the remastered version. I could be wrong on that, but you may be able to, because I think I reloaded a previous save and it allowed me to. So maybe you can now. I can't confirm that yet. If anyone here can confirm it, please let me know. You have 3 trophies for the first mission. You have to land on the parachute target, which is going to be done during the second take of the first mission, like that first initial battle. Then you have to destroy all the enemy spacecraft during the chase scene. There's 20 of them. but I think some of them just sort of blow up on their own, so you might not have to fully damage all of them. I think you might just have to cause some damage to some of them, and it might still unlock. Don't take my word for it, but it seems to be like a little bit easier than it says. 15 cameramen, there's around maybe 20 of them total that I've been able to find, so you got to be a little bit careful with this one. Just make sure you kill 6 during the first take of the beginning, 6 during the second take of the first area, and then there's a few more, there's like 7 or 8 more when the helicopter crash lands. Then we have the trophies for the second mission, which is the Hangar 18.5. You have to kill Space Brutina. This is an unmissable story-related trophy. You have to find the 6 hidden clapboards. They're not really all that well hidden, especially if you follow a guide, but they're all found during the intermission sequences between the action-filled battles. You have to kill 35 enemies with the laser pistol, as well as 7 with melee attacks. You can easily get both of these during a single run. There's way more than enough enemies. Just make sure you focus on knocking one out and then switching to the other weapon and knocking it out with that weapon, just so you don't have to worry about missing anything. And then you have the final mission. You have to destroy 10 enemy spacecraft. This one's pretty unmissable, even though you technically can miss it. You're probably going to get it naturally. Performing the 3 vehicle stunts in the VTOL type craft is going to be unmissable. It's part of the story. And then you just get a trophy for completing all 3 missions in the DLC, so pretty simple. I mean, it's not a difficult DLC if you're upgraded. It's just annoying that it has some missable trophies, potentially. But if someone can confirm to me whether or not they actually are missable in this version, that would be good to know. And then finally, you have the Trouble with Clones. This is the final DLC. So this one, I know that you can replay the missions after beating them, like once you've completed the entire DLC. So you're going to get 3 trophies here for the first mission of the game. Destroying the vehicles is pretty easy. You should get more than 60. And then 15 enemies with only melee attacks at barely legal, or technically legal, whatever it's called. This one can be a little bit tricky because the melee attacks aren't the best and your followers might get some of the kills, but it's right at the beginning of the mission, so if you don't get it, you can just pause and restart the activity or restart the mission. And then the trophy just for finishing the first mission. Then during the second mission, you have to spray 25 rabid fans with a Swarmatron. This one's pretty much unmissable, I think. I think you actually do have to do that to kill them and get them off of you. The 5 Steelport guard vehicles, I think you can do this mainly on helicopters at one point. There might be other vehicles as well that you can destroy. I don't think there's a ton of them, but it's still not really that tough to get. And then you get a story-related trophy. And then finally you have the final mission where you have to shoot down a helicopter with a Saints Flow fireball. This one was kind of weird for me because even though I know I did it twice during my first run of the mission, it didn't unlock for me. For some reason, I'm positive I did it, but it didn't unlock, so I actually had to replay the mission and do it that way for some reason. I don't really understand why it did that, but it did, so yeah, I don't get that one. Then kill a brute with only melee damage. This one's going to happen very easily during the section where you have to fight a few brutes. This is at the very end of the mission, though he doesn't often take damage. You just have to be kind of careful, just like quickly kill all the vehicles, because he can actually take some damage, it just can't have his health meter go down. And then finally, another trophy for completing the DLC as a whole. So let's go ahead and sync up the trophies. Level 727, 92%, 20,630 total trophies, 513 platinums, 3,020 golds, 5,545 silvers, 11,552 bronzes. So, plans for the upcoming week, provided everything continues to go well in the new place, I should have a chance to get a couple of easy platinums. And with Saints Row done, I guess it's time to start focusing on another, game. Something else random. I don't know which one I'm going to focus on next, because I can pull up my list here. I've currently got it written that July now is supposed to be The Division, Battlefield 5, and Resident Evil 7. I guess I'll get started on Resident Evil 7 for single-player stuff, because I've still got a few DLC trophies left. Then in August, I will jump back to Black Ops 3, and possibly Battlefield 4 if I haven't started it. I'll probably start it in June with Ghost at some point. Still don't know what I'm going to do for The Division. And Battlefield 5 is being saved for Platinum number 550. The multiplayer's done, so it's just waiting to get to 550. Then in September, the plan is to go work on GTA 5 and maybe start The Division 2. I haven't decided if I really want to do it yet. It sort of depends on if I ever get through Division 1. And then in October, we will jump back to the Outer Worlds as well as Borderlands 3 with its DLC if I don't start Borderlands 3 earlier. I don't think I would start Outer Worlds much earlier. It's sort of toward the back of my list. Then in November, we will go back and hopefully do Call of Duty Classic for the PS3. And in December, we finish the year off by working on Shadow of the Colossus PS3 and maybe a few random DLC trophies that are still obtainable in Uncharted 3. And of course, there's Conan Exiles has to be done in there somewhere. Plus, during the fall, there will be at least one more Minecraft DLC. So hopefully that trophy realm still works for that, and I can just knock that out. We'll still have to see if there's ever a PS5 version. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, favorite, share, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell if you haven't already. This week's schedule should be pretty normal. This video on Monday, trophy video Tuesday, something probably on Wednesday and or Thursday, maybe both days, maybe one of those days. I've got other videos I really need to edit and work on, such as another challenge run video that's like maybe 2/3 of the way done. Then Friday and Saturday will be streams, most likely, and Sunday will probably be another vlog video. Hopefully I can get 2 out this week, we'll have to see. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and see you for the next one.